Hello and welcome to week 3 of AC 1110 Accounting Fundamentals. Remember that the contact information is down here with the email address and the phone number. We also have office hours on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. These are not mandatory. It's going to be a question answer format. So if you have any questions, that's a time that's laid out to answer them. So you're welcome to call this number. Note that the number is different at that time than the phone number here because this is a conference call number. So multiple people could call in. You will need a conference code here, which is just 1111. And then we can also meet on this online meeting room as well. So if you click on this icon while we are on the meeting time, we can share screens and work through problems in that format. I do suggest using software like this for other purposes as well. If you want to meet with other students, you could look for software that you can do a screen share. It's very useful. It's used in business a lot. This company actually is using this software a lot more for business purposes as well as class purposes. So remember that you can contact other students up here by going into participants and sending what I call a Moodle message to other students and seeing if you want to get together. If you wanted to share each other's screens, you can look into software that a lot of it being free, like Skype and joinme.com. And so to me, the most important thing is if you're able to share each other's screens and look at the Excel worksheets and whatnot, then where you can work through problems together in a meeting format in that way. So I'm going to go back to Moodle Rooms here. Remember that most of the problems that we're going to work in this class will have an instructional video to it, and most of those videos will be links to this website here. So you could go to this website directly. Those videos should also be uploaded to the YouTube channel as well. So if you go to this website directly, you can find most of the instructional videos that'll help with the problems under Charter College and Accounting Fundamentals. If any of the links are running slow, or if this particular page is running slow, then you could also go to the YouTube channel here, and most of the videos again should be on the YouTube channel as well. I find that the YouTube channel actually works better on something like a mobile phone or something like that. So if you were to watch the videos on a phone, then you might have another screen open on the computer, and maybe that could be easier in some ways. But they're in Charter College and you're under the AC 1110, and most of them in this playlist, they should all be here. Now, they might not be in the best order there, but they should be in there somewhere, hopefully. So I'm going to go back to the Moodle Rooms, and let's take a look at week 3, the current week that we are on. So I'm going to scroll down to week 3, open up week 3, and see what we have. It's going to be looking very similar. The format should be very similar to prior weeks, in which we will have the objectives, and then we'll have the topics. I'll let you go over those. We'll be covering chapters 3 and chapter 4. So we covered chapter 3, or we started chapter 3 last time. We're going to spend most of our time concentrating on chapter 3 here, and then we'll start into chapter 4, and then we'll continue on chapter 4 in the following week, in week 4, and then move on to chapter 5 as well next week. You've got the links here. So once again, these are going to be videos that you can look at. They're going to be that same videos that should be on the YouTube page and the website as well. So if you have any issues with the links, then they should be there somewhere. And remember that this is the area down here where you really want to check everything off and see that you have done it. So this is, you might want to print it out and check it off if you want to, but this is where you really want to see that you have done everything, even though most of the work will be done in Connect. So you want to do the discussion forums and then check it off and say, okay, I've done that in this page. You want to do the assignment. Remember that one will be in Connect, this one will be in Connect, but you want to basically check it off here. This assignment will be in Moodle Rooms. So if you click on this item, then you'll see this here. This will be an Excel worksheet with a video attached to it, and you want to upload that into this section here. When the week starts, there'll be a submit button down here where you can submit it. I'm going to go back up to the cookie trail. I call this the cookie trail. I'm going to go back to this week, which is going to be week 3. I'm going to scroll back down to where we were in week 3, and we're back down here. Now, the homeworks are going to be the Learn Smarts. So once again, those will be in Connect, but you kind of want to just check them off in this area and make sure that you get them done through here. This is where you really want to verify that you have completed everything. And then the quiz will be the midterm this time. So the midterm will be due at the end of week 3. Make sure to do the midterm. It's worth more than the other quizzes, so you want to make sure to get that in. You got to get that in by Sunday. That we usually can't make up the midterm unless there's an unusual circumstance. So, and I take that on a case-by-case basis. So you'd have to email me if there's an unusual circumstance, and we'll take a look at it. Do you want to point out the strategy for getting the most points? This is the syllabi in the class. This is how I would approach most of the classes here at Charter. I really recommend trying to get full credit on the discussion forums because they're worth 21% of the grade, and that's a really large piece of the grade for discussion forums. So, and it's something that is fairly subjective. So if you put enough posts in there and they have substance to them, we should be able to pick up full credit on that 21%. And then I would try to pick up as much points as possible on the assignments and the homework, because we have the most control over those, and hopefully with the resources that are there, we can pick up most of those points. And notice that if we're able to do that, then the quizzes, the midterm, and the final are worth 33%, which is a large percent. However, if we can get as many of the points on these three areas as possible, we should have a pretty good cushion going into the quizzes. So that's how I would approach most of the classes in Charter College. So how do we get full credit on the discussion forums? And basically we're going to need a minimum of 4 posts, and I would recommend posting more than 4 posts to make sure to pick up that grade. The way the discussion forums will be graded is that the posts will accumulate in points. So you'll just keep on getting more points until you hit full credit on the posts, which can be done in a minimum of 4 posts, but most students actually need more than 4 posts depending on the quality of the posts. So if you have a post that's not, great, that's okay. It might take 5 posts to get full credit. You can't lose credit on a post, but it only accumulates upward until you would receive full credit. I'm obviously going to add a lot more information into the discussion forums, so there should be enough information to get the 4 posts minimum in there. Remember that a post needs to basically add content to the discussion. Now I'm going to take a look at the Connect up here. So this is the McGraw-Hill Connect up here. And we're going to take a look at week 3. So we're currently going to be in week 3. It should look fairly familiar, where we have the Learn Smarts are going to be here. Should be about 25 questions within the Learn Smarts. And then we're going to have the longer problem which will be represented by this notepad. So this one will be a more time-consuming, longer problem, but we do have a lot of information in this paperclip. So make sure to open the paperclip first to help you with this problem. It's going to have an Excel worksheet and it'll have an example problem. So if you just look at the format of the example problem, it'll give you a lot of the formatting to enter that data into this assignment here. So even if we don't get full credit, we should be able to pick up a lot of points just by looking at the example problem and using the videos to implement this information here. The midterm will be due on Sunday, so this is the midterm. It's worth more than the quizzes, and make sure to get that in on time. We can't generally make up the midterm unless there's some unusual circumstance. I'm going to go back to Moodle Rooms here. We're going to scroll up to the gradebook. So remember that your job is to basically track everything that has been done throughout the week. Make sure that it's all updated, and then I will enter the grades the following Tuesday, and then you want to go into the Moodle Rooms gradebook and see that the grades have been updated and ask any questions at that time. So as of the end of week 2, I will then put the grades in there by Tuesday, and that means that, for example, the discussion forum will go from a dash to a grade if we've done it, or a 0 if we haven't done it. If it's still a dash, it means that it has not been graded. So that will be the same for, of course, the quizzes and the assignments. And it should be updated for both late work as well as up through week 2. So if you had done work for week 1, then we'll go in there and I'll pick that up by the following Tuesday as well. So for example, if there's a 0 on this assignment, if we had missed it in week 1, then it should be picked up by the following Tuesday as well as the week 2 assignment. Any 0s that you have then at that point in time, you're going to want to see if you can pick up the late work. So just try to pick up the late work. Remember that this stuff does build on itself, so you kind of want to do chapter 1 before chapter 2 and chapter 2 before chapter 3, if at all possible. So you want to go back and pick up the late work if you can. And then when we move on to week 3, you're going to finish week 3, check off everything that we have done, and then I will grade week 3 the following Tuesday after the Sunday of the close of the week. And again, I'll pick up late works for the prior week as well as the grade through week 3. And that's going to be it for week 3. Have a great week 3.